This cat was called Cursed, and when a man approached her, this abandoned little kitten named Cursed White Cat was found wandering the village streets. And every time people saw him, they'd shy away from him because he looked sick, and the village's people decided to get rid of it because they're afraid for their animals and kids. One man took pity on the poor thing and shared his love with Cursed White Cat before he died in his arms. Everyone in the apartment complex I lived in knew who Cursed White Cat was. Cursed White Cat loved three things in this world: fighting, eating garbage, and, shall we say, love. The combination of these things, combined with a life spent outside, had their effect on Cursed White Cat. He had only one eye, he's also missing his ear on the same side, his left foot has appeared to have been badly broken at one time, his tail has long since been lost, leaving a tiny stump which he would constantly jerk and twist. Cursed White Cat was also covered in sores, disguising his tabby fur. Every time someone saw Cursed White Cat, there was the same reaction: "That's one Cursed White Cat!" All the children were warned not to touch him, the adults threw rocks at him, hosed him down, squirted him when he tried to come into their homes, or shut his paws in the door when he wouldn't leave. But Cursed White Cat always gave the same response. If you turned the hose on him, he'd stand there getting soaked until you gave up and quit. If you threw things at him, he would curl his lanky body around feet in forgiveness. Whenever he saw children, he would come running, meowing frantically, and bump his head against their hands, begging for their love. If you picked him up, he immediately began suckling on your shirt or ears, whatever he could find. One day, Cursed White Cat shared his love with the neighbor huskies. They didn't respond kindly, and Cursed White Cat was badly mauled. From my apartment, I could hear his screams, and I tried to rush to his aid. By the time I got to where he was laying, it was apparent Cursed White Cat's sad life was almost at an end. Cursed White Cat lay in a wet circle, his back legs and lower back twisted grossly out of shape, a gaping tear in the white strip of fur that ran down his front. I carried him home, afraid my touch was hurting him terribly. I could hear him gasping and struggling, but then I felt a familiar tugging, sucking sensation on my ear. Cursed White Cat, in so much pain, suffering, and obviously dying, was trying to suckle my ear. I pulled him closer to me, and he bumped the palm of my hand with his head. Then he turned his one golden eye towards me, and I could hear the distinct sound of purring. At that moment, I thought Cursed White Cat was the most beautiful, loving creature I had ever seen. Even though he was in so much pain, covered in wounds, the battle-scarred cat was only asking for one thing: a little bit of affection. Never once did he try to bite or scratch me or run away from me. Cursed White Cat just looked up at me, trusting me to relieve his pain. Cursed White Cat died in my arms before I could bring him inside, but I sat there and held him for a long time. Cursed White Cat taught me more about giving and compassion than 1,000 books, lectures, or talk show specials ever could, and for that I will always be thankful. He'd been scarred on the outside, but I was scarred on the inside, and it was time for me to move on and learn to love truly and deeply. Many people want to be richer, more successful, well-liked, beautiful, but for me, I will always try to be Cursed White Cat.